All right, so diving in today, we're tackling something pretty much everyone's thinking about.
Yeah.
AI, and how it's going to like completely reshape how we work. We've got this source, AI's impact on the future of work. Super interesting. And I think our mission here is to really get past all the hype and jargon.
Right.
And actually figure out, okay, so how is AI, concretely going to change the way we earn a living? What are the real challenges, and what are some smart strategies people are already talking about?
Yeah, I think what really jumps out from this material is this tension. On the one hand, it's clear AI is going to take over a lot of the tasks we do now, automating things.
Right.
But there's also like this huge potential for AI to create whole new types of jobs that, we can't even imagine yet. So it's not as simple as just, the robots are taking our jobs. Mm-hmm. It's more like a big reshuffling, of what work even looks like.
Yeah, totally. And the report makes this really clear point that, trying to fight AI, that's probably not going to work.
Right.
The real challenge, the real opportunity is figuring out how we adapt.
Right.
How we thrive. Mm-hmm. So let's get into that. How is AI already changing things beyond just like the routine manual work we always think of with automation?
Well, the real game changer is AI becoming capable of doing what we've always thought of as like cognitive work.
Oh, okay.
Things that need like human intelligence, analysis, even decision making. And the report actually has this really great real world example with DBS Bank.
Oh yeah, right. They're cutting like thousands of temporary jobs.
Yeah.
Because they're having AI handle those tasks now.
That's right. Yeah, they're reporting that AI can manage those responsibilities.
That really drives home the point.
Yeah.
That it's not just like robots on factory floors.
Yeah.
This is changing everything.
Absolutely, and it really highlights that this is going to shift jobs across way more industries than we might think. Mm-hmm. It's not just manufacturing or basic data entry.
Right.
And as AI gets more powerful, as it gets easier for businesses to use, and let's be honest, a lot of times it's cheaper for them in the long run. Mm-hmm. It's just natural that companies are going to rethink who they need to hire. It's kind of a logical next step as technology keeps advancing.
Okay. So job displacement, that's clearly a real thing. It's something we have to think about. But the report also talks about what we can do to prevent like mass unemployment. What are some of the key ideas out there?
Well, Singapore is a really interesting case study here.
Okay.
What's striking is that they have this really comprehensive plan. They're not just reacting to AI, they're really trying to shape their whole economy around it.
Yeah. The report mentioned they're making these big investments to encourage AI businesses.
Right.
So what does that actually look like? Like on the ground?
Well, it seems like they're really intentionally supporting businesses that are built around AI from the ground up, not just trying to add AI on top of what they're already doing. So this could be, government funding for AI research.
Okay.
Making it easier for AI companies to get started.
Right.
Maybe even offering incentives for businesses to use AI in new and creative ways.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And then along with that, there's this big focus on upskilling their workforce.
Right, absolutely. That's critical.
Because it's not enough to just have these AI companies. You need people who can work with the technology.
Exactly, yeah. Upskilling means making sure people have the skills and the knowledge they need to thrive in these new AI-driven jobs. Or to be able to move into different fields.
Right.
Fields that maybe aren't going to be automated as quickly, or even entirely new fields that AI is creating.
Makes sense.
It's about making sure the workforce stays relevant.
Right. That they can adapt as things change.
Okay. And there's this other term the report uses, economic preparedness.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean when we're talking about AI changing the way we work?
Well, economic preparedness is really about looking at the bigger picture.
Okay.
What's going to happen to society as a whole.
Yeah.
So things like, strengthening our social safety net,
Mm-hmm.
maybe changing how we think about taxes. Because, if work looks different, taxes might have to look different too.
Right.
And thinking about how we can support people who might lose their jobs because of AI.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about anticipating the consequences and having plans in place to help people.
Okay. So we've talked about like these big national strategies. But what about individual companies and workers? What can they do to adapt as AI becomes like more and more integrated into how we work?
Well, the report highlights a few important areas. One is figuring out what are the things that humans are still uniquely good at.
Things that AI, at least for now, can't really replicate.
Mm-hmm.
So this is often stuff like creativity.
Oh, okay.
Solving really complex, unusual problems, emotional intelligence, being able to communicate with other people in really subtle ways.
Right.
It's about focusing on what makes us human, what we're good at.
Yeah, our strengths. Totally. And the report also talked about these hybrid job roles.
Yeah.
That seems like a really interesting solution. Can you explain that a little bit more?
Sure. So hybrid roles are basically jobs where humans and AI work together really closely.
Okay.
Each doing what they're best at. So imagine like a doctor using AI to analyze tons of medical data to help make a diagnosis.
Right.
But then still using their own judgment and experience and their ability to connect with the patient to make the final call.
Oh, interesting.
Or think about a marketing team using AI to get all these insights about, customer behavior, but then still needing humans to come up with creative, compelling marketing campaigns. It's really about using AI to make humans better at what they do.
Okay, so it's not like human versus AI. It's like human and AI working together.
Exactly.
To be even better.
Yeah.
Got it. And then the report also mentions restructuring work models.
Yeah.
So what could that actually look like?
Well, it could mean some pretty big changes to how companies are organized, how work gets done, even how we define what a job is.
Oh, wow.
So we might see more work being done in projects,
Okay.
Not so much the traditional 9-to-5 job and more teams that have both humans and AI on them.
Interesting.
Working together and jobs that are more flexible, that change as technology changes.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So a lot of the talk about AI and work, it's kind of negative, right? It's about people losing their jobs. But the report also points out that AI can actually help the economy grow and create jobs. So how does that work?
Well, AI can help businesses grow in a bunch of ways.
Okay.
So they can use it to do more with less, to be more efficient. They can use it to reach new customers, maybe customers in other countries. And they can use it to create entirely new products and services that we haven't even thought of yet. And all of that growth, that can lead to new jobs.
Right.
Think about all the people who are working on AI.
Yeah. Building
it, maintaining it, figuring out the ethical implications.
Right.
Those are all jobs that exist because of AI.
So it's kind of this cycle. AI helps the economy grow. That growth creates new needs, and those needs create new jobs.
Exactly.
Okay. And it seems like the report is really saying we need to shift our mindset.
Yeah.
Not just be afraid of AI, but actually embrace it.
Right. Yeah. The key is to get ready for the changes that are coming. Throughout history, whenever there's been a big technological advance, it's changed the way we work.
Right.
And the best thing to do is to be proactive, to be able to adapt, not to try to fight it.
Makes sense. So the report ends with this really big question.
Yeah.
Are we doing enough to prepare for this?
Yes.
Right now. It's not some far off problem. This is happening now.
Exactly. And that's the takeaway, really. The future of work with AI, it's not set in stone. It depends on what we do today.
Okay.
What we invest in, what policies we put in place, whether individuals and companies are willing to change and adapt. It's about finding those new opportunities, making sure people have the skills they need, and using AI not just to automate things, but to actually help everyone, to help the economy grow and ultimately to help people live better lives.
So thinking about everything we've talked about, DBS Bank, Singapore, hybrid jobs, what skills do you think are going to be most valuable in the future as this whole AI work landscape keeps changing?
Yeah.
And what can our listeners do to prepare?
It's a great question. And it's really something to think about.
Yeah.
Instead of just focusing on what jobs we might lose, what if we start thinking about all the amazing new possibilities that AI is going to create and how we can be a part of that?
Yeah.
How we can not just survive, but actually thrive.
Some really, really interesting stuff to think about.